Ladies and mental gen, today is September 3rd, 2013, and this is the KNKL Show Episode 96. The one time I actually need to say episode, I don't say it. I was about to say day, but as we know, it is not the daily, it is the show, and today is 96. I am your host, Kienan Lafferty, and this is the show where we learn to be better artists, and you are watching the Desk Cam, the new Desk Cam. Well, technically, that's Desk Cam 1, this is Desk Cam 2 right here. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing once again on physical media and how I go about creating one of these cards from composition, like how I sketch down the ideas, much like this, right? See, I sketch down a little idea of what I want to do, and then I transfer it to the card and how this can serve you. And we're going to get as far as we can today, and if we need to, we can always continue it tomorrow. But before we get into that, we need to take a stroll down lovely lane because we have some amazing new submissions coming in from Ja people. One of them being a comic that I haven't even seen yet. So let's go check this out. Oh, yeah, this is an awesome comic. I actually did see this. This is by Bill Watterson. And I don't know exactly if this is a true story about his life, but if so, then there are a lot of similarities with what he did and what I did, right? Quitting the job and starting your own thing. So that's really cool. And thank you to Eric Moffat for sending that in. And let's continue on up the lane. Got some amazing submissions coming. Look at the color on this. Great job, Mr. Blaze. And with that, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has been continuing to submit your awesome things to the Facebook. For those of you who have not joined us yet, who have not joined the cult of KNKL on Facebook, please do so. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link should be down in the description. Alrighty, people, so let's talk about what we're going to be drawing today. Today we're going to be drawing Zyra. Woo! And we have the handy little LOL skin viewer up and running on the browser. So this is basically going to be my reference that I'm going to be looking at. But you're not going to watch it because you're going to be watching the desk. You're going to be watching what's going on down here. But just so you know, I'm not pulling these things out of my head. I have like I have a perfect memory of Zyra and every curve of her body. I'm actually going to be cheating and looking at the LOL skin viewer. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started on that. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, is when I'm doing these cards for Comic-Con, the biggest thing that I'm really enjoying lately is just the sort of like new challenges and stuff. And for just a quick run through for those of you who may be joining us for the first time today, I'm putting together these cards for the upcoming Salt Lake Comic-Con. And they're featuring my own character Emma as well as various Ligue de Leyendos characters, okay? So what I'm talking about today is just transitioning from digital to physical media and some of the challenges and advantages it can bring to you. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into that. So like I said at the beginning of the episode, one of the first things that I like to do before I even start a card now is I like to play around with some poses and a bunch of just different compositions. I'll even draw the card, how I'm going to frame it there, and that makes transferring it to the final piece so much easier, and it's all planned out. You're not trying to figure things out at the beginning. And I actually did try to just figure it out on the card originally, but it just ended up not working. I think this was one of them. See, I was like drawing the face, and I was gonna like, again, I was doing that thing where I draw the head and then I try to draw the body off of it, and it just wasn't working. But it seems like whenever I draw a pose in a small version like this, it always ends up working out really, really well. So that's what we're going to be doing. First off, we're going to bust out our handy dandy sketchbook, and we're going to draw a sexy Zyra. And you guys can help me pick out a couple of poses. And what I want you guys to pay attention to right here is just how quickly and simple I like to keep things. I'm going to move this over here so I can actually see what's going on. Okay. Alrighty, so let's start with some poses. Let's see. Let's see what kind of pose I want to get with this. And again, pay attention to how I'm not drawing like the little leafy things that come off of her head. I'm not drawing any of that. Right now, all I'm doing is drawing the body, right? Drawing a pose for a body. And I'm going to figure out what I would like to do here. And again, sketching very, very small. Very, very small. Work small to solve the big problems and work big to solve the small problems, a great man once said. So, and when I'm drawing girls, I really like to I like to work with shapes. I like to think of their bodies as just shapes and flowy lines. So you can see that I'm doing that here. And it's almost like, I don't know, I really like to just play around with perspective, you know. Like just kind of like throw these lines together and see what looks nice to me, right? And I'm already liking this one. This one looks really nice. So she could be doing something like that, but I don't know where this arm is going. But that doesn't necessarily matter because what looks good here, we can always just crop it off and use negative space, right? That's what it's all about, right? You don't need to worry about where these legs are going. You draw the feet down here, you know. There's no plane happening here. So that can work to our advantage. That's one of the things I actually like about working with cards is that, you know, you can just contort the character almost into any position that you want, and you don't have to worry about balancing them or actually making it look plausible. It's all about just what looks good. What looks good to us? All right, next one. So I am thinking that I do want to do like a sexy pose, right? Zyra is a sexy mama. Very Poison Ivy-like. But then she's also kind of like, I mean, I like doing sexy poses, but I also like to have my women also have like a sense of, you know, almost like power too, right? Zyra's very powerful. So we don't want to do just the lame cheesecake pose, you know, all the time, right? We want to have some cool looking poses that will show off her power. So let's see, what would I do here? Maybe I'd put this arm back, and maybe I'd bring this one, I don't know, up. This might not be one that we use, but that is okay. Okay, so this is just an idea. And she's got those little viney things that wrap around, so this would be showing that off. But I don't know if that is the best way to show it. But I do kind of like what's happening here. Kind of like, I'd imagine the perspective would be going upwards, right? So we'd be looking a little bit more up at her. So her eyes would be like this, and she'd maybe be smiling at us. Like that, and she'd have her ears out like that. She kind of like that one. That one looks pretty cool. Oh, I think I know why that arm looks weird. It's because it's not in the proper perspective. In fact, maybe I should do it more like this. Should have it back like this, and then this hand. Because with the hand going up like that, with the hand being up here, like where it used to be, it looked kind of weird, right? Because, you know, in comics they talk about dominance, right? The dominant character, the dominant feature. And if you place the hand that far above the head and put something significant on it, right? AKA her vine thingy, it makes the vine look almost more powerful than she is. Subliminally, right? These are the Jedi mind tricks that are happening within your own head, right? And I'm pointing them out to you. Simply pointing them out. Actually liking this a lot more now. Look at how simply I draw the hands. Like if you can look closely at that, all I did was I just draw the thumb, right? This little shape represents the thumb. There's the forefinger, and the rest of this shape just is the rest of the hand, right? And I really like working like that because it's fast, and I really believe in capturing gesture. You can capture gesture very, very naturally, right? You don't have to try super hard to capture gesture. Oh, and this line right here actually looks nice for her other leg. If her other leg were to come out right there, that'd actually look really cool. And I'll draw in a couple of these details, you know, every now and then. But I really like this. This one actually looks really nice. If I were to frame this, how would I frame it? Because I don't want to make a lot of room for that hand. I feel like it doesn't need to. It's not significant enough that we need to push the frame out like that. I'd probably do it like this. Probably do it somewhat like that. And I actually really like that. Just erase that hand so we can get a better visual on what we're going to have there. And I'll number these so I can look over in the chat and see which one you guys like. So this is number 1 right here, and number 2 is right here. Let me know which one of these you like so far, and don't say this one just because it has a face. I'm going to draw a face on this one too. Ooh, sexy face. Put some blush on there. This one's okay. This one, like I said, is a little bit more cheesecakey. Okay, let's do another one. Let's see. What else do I want to do? What else could I do here? Well, the one thing I do like about Zyra is she's got like the cool poison ivy thing going on. So let's see if we can kind of play that up a little bit. Poison ivy thing going on with her boobs. She's got these little leaf bra thing going on. That's pretty sexy. Oh, it doesn't even connect in the center. That's how scandalous. This could only be designed by Riot. Alright, let's see here. I really like sketching like this. I just draw the eyes as little, just little marks, and then I'll just put the thing on them, right? That's how I draw faces when I'm sketching. Oh, you couldn't even see that. Kel, you were in the way! If that happens again, Kel will be destroyed forever. Ooh, I like this. This looks nice. Let's draw on the legs here. Actually, I don't like those legs like that. I don't like those legs like that. I imagine her more being like sitting, like reclining almost, right? So I imagine her being a little bit more like this. Got one of these going. These things going on, right? Spider Queen pose going on here, right? Let's see. So this shoulder would go down like that. And let's have the vine thingy like that. Oh, I like that. That's nice. And again, notice, working with heavy shapes, lots of flow, really trying to capture that line that's going through it, right? Try to draw that little flow line going through this body. It would go right down, kind of S down like that. That always looks very, very nice. Very nice. Okay. Let's take care of that. And let me just kind of play around with a couple shapes, because she's got these cool little like sleevey things going on, like the little flower, I don't know, thing that kind of bunches up. And then her hair would come down like this. And I'd probably frame this, probably frame it like that. Or actually, let's pull it in closer. Let's go in closer. I'd frame it like that. It's number 3. I'll do 4 of these and then we'll make a decision, okay? You guys will make a decision. There's number 3. And we'll go on to number 4. And I'm planning on going today for about, no, probably like an hour. So if you have an hour to spend, feel free to kill it here with me. We will kill it together and become good friends. Those who slay together, stay together. All right? Okay, last one. Last one. What does Zyra do? I actually don't play much as Zyra, so I don't know much about her. But I'll draw a little bit more of an action-y pose. I'll draw one more action-y pose. Let's see here. Okay, so let's have her arm out like this. Oh, move that up a little bit more so you can see it. Something like that. It's kind of comic booky, but I don't know if that's really Zyra. I don't know if Zyra would ever pose like that. But let me know what you guys think, if you like it. But me personally, I think I'm feeling number 2. I think number 2 is kind of like that good mix of sexy, right? Because you got the cool curves going up like this, but then we're also looking up at her. So she is very powerful in our eyes. And it seems like you guys are agreeing. You guys are in agreement. So I think, yes, we are going to go forward with number 2. Because it is sexy and it looks good. And she has this cool thing that comes off of her head, which will look really good in profile. Excelente. Alright, we got it. So, that is step 1. Once you go into your sketchbook and you figure out what you want to do, then we are moving over to the card. And then you are simply going to transpose what you have created in your sketchbook right onto the card. And this might seem a little bit daunting, but actually it's very, very easy. I mean, for those of you who are artists, just think about it. You know, when you're learning something or there's like a picture. For me, I was learning anime and I just straight up copy an anime picture. Or when I was younger, I wanted to draw Taz all the time from Looney Tunes. So I would just constantly draw these pictures of Taz. And I look at it this way. It's like, okay, if I could copy pictures when I was 10 years old, then I can copy, you know, the pictures that I draw in my own sketchbook, you know. So, and again, the important part about this is getting the proportions right, okay? So a good thing to do is pay attention. Like, where this card is about halfway, that's where her waist is, right? So just kind of pay attention to the sizing and where the different parts of your sketch are going to line up. And make sure you're capturing that original flow that you've got here. In fact, I'm going to put this right there. That way it'll be much easier to get it over. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. That is going to want to come back. There we go. That should work. Or not. Okay. That's better. Okay, so again, yes, just focusing on the shapes. Focusing on these shapes. Okay. Got some of this coming down here. Got that like that. And I've got her waist coming up like that. Looks good. Boobius Maximus. Gotta have it. And because we are in profile, slightly in profile, we're going to see the other boob on the horizon there. Okay, let's get these arms in there. I may have made this over just a slight bit too much. She's kind of centered, and I don't know if I really wanted that. But let us continue. It's fine. You will have to excuse my silence here because this is when I'm concentrating. And again, what I'm doing here is I'm just focusing on, again, capturing that flow and making it feel very, very organic, right? Just let the lines flow and try to capture the original vision, if you will. One of the things I noticed that I did was I made this leg a little bit too far forward, so let's go ahead and kick it back a notch. And man, my nose is itchy. Oh, my nose gets so itchy right after I shave my face, and I don't know why. And I hope it's not a nosebleed. I really hope it's not. That'd be really bad. That would be embarrassing. Okay. I'm not capturing the same exact butt shape here. Gotta make sure we're capturing that. Very important. Yeah, that looks good. Good. And again, also this leg. There we go. Good. Now let's go ahead and bring, I like this thing, like being here, like just this shape. I drew in the sketch of her mouth. I feel like that's really nice. So I'm going to see if I can play around with that and get that in here. See if I can get that in here. Let's check our proportions. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Yes. Okay. Let's draw this nose in here. And what I really like is just when things kind of come together, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of see the vision, like this little line that was here is actually helping me to see the eye, right? So let's go ahead and lay that in. Does Zara actually have eyes? I think she does. She has like lizard eyes, right? Hope so, because that's what she's getting. Good. Let's go ahead and just get that, the hint of the other eye there. That's all we need. Let's draw on the rest of this head. Let us consult our reference here. Okay, so she's got like these plant ear things that come up, right? So let's go ahead and just sketch those in. I see a little bit of that on the other side there. And then she's got these little hair pieces that come out like that. So let's not forget. Never forget. And let's sketch in the shape of her hair. She's got some cool hair. Okay, so I think I'm going to do something like that. And this arm, actually, since we pushed the crop out a little bit, I think we will have room to have this arm be doing something. So we could do something like, let's see, what can we do with this arm here? Could have it open like this. That actually looks really nice. I really like that. Going for it. Looks very, very nice. And her arm or her shoulder is facing this way, so I have to think about the rotating of the, in other words, the country pasta of the torso. And her boobs are actually not going to be there anymore. They're actually going to be a little bit more like this. A little bit more like that. Which is fine by me. Yeah, that's better. Much better. Then we have that little line going down, and then her belly button will be right about there. And then it'll rotate the rest of the way so that her hip can be right there. Right there! And we got that going on. Make her butt a little bit bigger. That's the way it was in the sketch. You don't want to lose that butt. Please don't lose that butt. Are you guys getting this? Hope you're getting this. And I hope you can see it good enough on the thing. Yeah, you guys can see what's going on. Cool. Cool. Very good. All right, so let's go ahead and draw in the rest of this ear here. Probably going to want it to look something like that. And she's got the cool earring thing going on. So let's not forget that. And let's see, what else? What else are we wanting? This is looking pretty good, actually. It's looking really good. Let's go ahead and draw in the details of her armor and such. Okie dokie, let's begin. Okay, so the first thing I gotta do is I gotta draw this little flowery thingy, right, that makes her sleeve. Right? She's got these cool looking flower sleeves that kind of come up like this. And they form off of a vine. That looks pretty good. And this vine is dangerous. Therefore, it has spines. So we'll draw in some spines every now and then. All right, that looks good. I'm going to erase these little opening spots in here. Good. I feel like this elbow is coming just a tad far back. Her elbow should be right about there. I'm just going to go ahead and omit the detail that's back there. As you can see here, I'm just representing it by that line. And what that's going to do is help to keep the rest of her body and the things that are close to us, right, like this arm. We put more detail there so that way it appears closer. Depth by level of detail, that's what they call it. Okay. Let's draw on the rest of her armor, if you can call it that. Her Adam and Eve armor, leaves, right? How original. Go ahead and do some of that. Let's draw this leaf up like that, and that leaf like that. Looks good. Okay. I'm going to kind of improvise off of this just a tad bit, right? Kind of draw it as I see it. Add a little bit of my flavor to it. Oh, looks good. That does it. There we go. A little bit of that in there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, looks good. Do want her hip actually to show a little bit there. That looks nice. And now let's draw the vines. The rest of her body. What's going on here? Whatever this stuff is. Let's get some interesting growth happening over here on the model. I don't know. I don't know how they handled this in the splash. I don't even think you can see her crotch in the splash. But it does look a little bit interesting from this angle. Alright. Let's see, how did I do it over here? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw these things coming up like that, because I like that. The rest of these designs are going to flow right up. Lovely! There's got to be a better way to handle this thing. The crotch armor. How do they do it in the back? Maybe I can do something like that. Oh yeah, that looks way better. Just do it more like a design. There we go. Much better! Now it doesn't look like vines growing out of her crotch. That's what I didn't want. I'll just go ahead and pass on that. Thanks, Zyra. Nothing personal, it's just can't do the crotch vines. There we go. Alright, let's do the other side of her legs here. Do the other side. So we're gonna have something like this. And again, we can kind of kick down the detail on the back leg as well, because again, we want to promote that depth that's happening over there. Okay, so that looks good. That looks really good. Am I liking this? Do I want a little line there? Does that look weird? It looks weird. I need to fix that. There we go. That's better. So I do want to have a little bit of definition in that leg, but I want it to look right and not strange. In fact, I want to add a little bit more detail on this hip here. And I can do that! Because I have the power. And I kind of know what I'm doing. Alrighty then. One thing I'm noticing is we probably want to redraw this arm here, because this arm's looking kind of dinky. This arm's looking kind of dinky. Let's fix it. Let's make it look cooler. Let's push the perspective on it. Yes, yes. Shall we? Shall we? And we've been going for, 35 minutes. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so we got this coming this way. Let's have this arm be more out towards us like this. Mm-hmm. That hand looks a little bit better, but it's still not doing it for me. Still not doing it for me. See, this is what happens when you don't draw this thing, right? What I'm doing with this hand, you will end up doing this with the card, and you're constantly just erasing and erasing and getting frustrated. And that isn't very fun for anyone, so don't do that. Don't do that or I will find you. Okay. Now we're going to make this happen. We're going to make this happen together, guys. Ready? Here we go. Let's have it come really close. And Zyra can have zombie hands. Why not? She can have the spiked zombie hands. That looks better. Looks a lot better. Except for this thumb. I don't like this thumb. The rest of the hand looks great. But not the thumb. That doesn't look good either. I think it needs to be a little bit more out. There we go. Solutions have been found. Love it. And that looks good. That looks very splendid. Splendid. Thank you. Okay. Oh, and then what I can do with this is I can have the vine kind of twirl around like so, and then I can have it wrap like that, and come right on down like this, and also be pointing at you. Let's see, how do I want to do this though? I could do it like this. Yeah, but it looks kind of weird down there at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Let's see what it looks like if we just bring it close to us, right? Let's just bring the vine close. Give it some good depth. Yeah, that looks good. I like that one. And this vine can come up like this. Cool. All right. That looks good. So now we got some good depth, got some good sexiness going on, and some good power. So I'm feeling very, very good about this. And once the lines start coming to fruition, right? Once you start seeing the picture within with the pencils that you've laid down, then we're going to move into lining. We're going to line it with a various amount of tools, ranging from ballpoint pens to Prismacolor markers. So I'd say let's go ahead and get started on that, shall we? Let me just figure out exactly where the heck this hair is going to go. It's going to come right down here, right like that. Okay. Looks good. I don't need to see this because that's going to be in the way, and that is going to be in the way of that. Let's get all these lines figured out really quickly before we jump into the colors. Because if we don't, we'll probably hate ourselves. Yeah, that looks great. And what I'm going to do before I actually jump into the lines is I'm going to check this in the mirror. It's something that I really like to do before I commit to anything in doing physical media. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about, as well, while I do this, a couple of the advantages that come from switching to physical media as opposed to doing constant digital, right? Like I used to. I used to really not be interested in doing physical media at all until I started doing these cards. But what I've realized lately is that there's a lot to be gained from it. Move this thing down a little bit. And now we can move Zyra to the center. I'm going to check the mirror. Okay. What am I seeing here? It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I think what I want to do is I need to tone down the curvature that's happening on this face a little bit, and I need to make this leg thicker. Those are a couple of the things that I'm seeing from that. And I might actually be able to just do it on the camera. Let me see if I can do that. That'd be cool. So you guys can see what I'm seeing. And I do believe I can. Yes, I can. All right, so check it out. So we're going to mirror it, and you guys are going to take a look at what I'm seeing. So the curvature on this face is just a little bit, it was a little bit wonky. And then this leg, I wanted to make it bigger, thicker. Zyra looks good with a big butt. So we're going for that. Big booty. Your booty. And it's good. That's looking great. Yeah, I really like that a lot. Okay, last thing that I want to do is I just want to take a look at the face. Let's make sure the face is looking proper. Because her nose looks like it might be a little bit high. Let's figure out exactly what we're going to do with her eyes too. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. I feel like overall she's kind of like slanting to the right a little bit. Whereas in this original one, she wasn't. So maybe I can fix that just by adjusting this leg. Like this original leg just feels a lot more powerful and poised. So I'm going to see if I can capture a little of that. That looks like it did it. Yep. Alrighty, people. Let's move on to the lines. Let's kick you back to normal. And let's go ahead and get started. Alright. So basically all we're doing here now, guys, is the lines are down. And we're going to be using a ballpoint pen to come in here and begin lining the picture. Lovely, yes. Focusing heavily on flow, keeping the flow of the drawing there, capturing that original vision. Let's go ahead and get that up. It's looking good. Okay. Let's get this part of the head going. I'm doing a little bit of ad-lib, right, on the drawing as I go. The things I'd like to see. Sometimes there's little artifacts, sometimes there's little details that I like to pull out from the pencil that I might not have originally seen. And again, in the end, these pictures are supposed to be in a semi reduced detail level. It's supposed to be my style. Righto. Righto. Oh, and I almost forgot. Zyra has like these little markings. She has these little markings on her head. Don't want to miss those. Let's see, what's the best way to draw those? Got a little mark there and a little mark there. That really helps to make it look like it's her. Good. All right, let's lay it in. But yeah, I want to talk more about how physical media can really help you guys out in terms of just giving you a break, giving you a rest. And it's something that's new, and I think it's actually good for your hands. It's good for your hands to get away from the tablet. It's good for your eyes, and I think it kind of reintroduces you to the control that you have when you're holding a pen. When you're like physically holding a pen and it is going exactly where you're pressing down. And it also forces you to make some commitments. And I think this is another really cool thing. Is me working digital, I'm so used to just like drawing something and not worrying too much about it, right? Or, you know, I say that I don't worry too much about it because I can just Control Z and go back. But what's very, very interesting is I think that after a while, that becomes a crutch. It becomes a crutch, and you become a little bit too hard on yourself. And sometimes you keep making corrections that maybe you didn't have to correct, you know? And I think what's good about going to physical media is once it's down, that's it. You know, there's no going back, and you basically got to work with what you got. So there's a little bit more like pressure in that way. But there's also a good incentive for you to go through all the processes of setting up the drawing and making sure everything is going to work, right? Kind of like what I did with this, right? Like figuring out the sketches here, figuring out the poses, and transposing that over to the final card. And I think it's a really good exercise for your mind. And I think it will make you a better artist, just being able to commit to things, right? Just like plan things out properly, go for them, right? Because you guys should have seen me like go back a couple episodes where I'm working on these cards, and you can tell I'm nervous. You can tell I'm a little bit like out of my zone, and it's pretty funny to watch. But now I'm actually really, really enjoying it. And like I said, I think it's all just about the challenge, right? The challenge as well as the break from the usual digital art. So if you think that you're being held back because you don't have Photoshop or you don't have a tablet, then you are absolutely gravely mistaken. All right, let's get in close for these eyes. Let's make sure you guys can see. Okay, good. Bring it in for the real thing. Yeah, it looks good. Looks really good. And get pumped. Get seriously pumped about your work. Get excited. Because I have a feeling you challenge yourself like this, you're going to do some stuff that you didn't even think you could do. You're going to pull out some amazing things. And if you don't, so what? You're still learning. Alright, let's draw the little blush lines on there. Yeah, this is so cool. Love this. That looks good. Just drawing her little markings. Lovely! And let's draw the mouth. Her smug smirk. Looks good. Alright, so the face is coming along quite nicely. Let's go ahead and check the mirror of it, see how it looks. Ah, it looks great! If it looks good when it's mirrored, that means it looks awesome. That's what I have come to realize. If you look at your drawings in the mirror and they still look good, that means that they're going to look really good to the people that are going to see them for the first time. Because you're just getting those fresh eyes on them, and it's a magical thing. It's a magical thing. I think I might actually do 2 parts of this today, guys. For those of you who want to stick around and watch the whole card get made, I think I might do 2 parts. Because I am going to need to take a break here in probably the next 5 minutes. So we're going to break for 5 minutes, or yeah, take a 5-minute break in 5 minutes, and then I'll continue with part 2. Because you guys deserve it. You guys deserve an awesome daily. Or an awesome KNKL show. From start to finish. Alright. What the heck happened there? These lines are confusing to me, but I like the way they look, so I'm going to keep them there. I think what I did is I actually just ditched that little thing there, but I'll put her elbow. And then let's get the vine back in there. Let's sketch those spikes on where we're going to want them. So you want the vine to come in like that. Yeah, that should work. So let's go up, down like that. Just add a thorn right there, so it looks good. Wrap that vine around there. Yes, and let me take a look over here. You guys are asking some good questions. People are saying I would make an excellent professor. Not of English, though, of art. Thank you. That's saying Professor Chips. Professor of Chips is saying I would be a great professor of art. And I trust the Professor of Chips. You know, I have been thinking that I really do want to teach people. In fact, I was thinking about, could I go to the school and just like start teaching people to draw comics? Because I think we need more comic artists in the world. We need more comic artists. But people say I need a degree to do that, and they're probably right. It's one of those things where unfortunately a degree is necessary. And you know what? Who wants to really go to school, right? I don't like to go to school. I like to learn stuff online on my own. I just like being surrounded by actual people when I'm at school. But for me, if I can learn online, I'd rather just do it that way. Not dissing on anybody that goes to school, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Some people are saying, people are comparing the designs from League of Legends to the characters that I'm drawing right here. And yes, I do like to vary my style. And I believe in being versatile, but I also just believe in doing what you want to do. And this style that I'm working in right here is actually my preferred style. I like kind of like the comic booky, manga, anime, whatever you want to call it, style. I really like it a lot. So it's very fun to just practice variety and just have more than one skill, right? Because if you're a painter that can just do one art style, then, well, there's 2 sides to this argument, really. It's like, if you're going to do one thing, then you got to be dang good at it, right? But if you're versatile, then someone could say, hey, I want a picture in the style of this guy. And then you can copy that style. That's also a very good skill to have. And that's what I opted for. I like being able to be versatile and copy styles, right? Almost like a chameleon of sorts. Because it definitely comes in handy when you're doing professional work, right? Working in the industry. Because most of the time you're not going to be able to work in your preferred style. Unless you're a concept artist or whatever. But in terms of League of Legends, you know, doing the splash screens, we all wanted those to look cohesive, so we had to blend our style together. especially towards the end there. But it got to a point where even I just wasn't satisfied with it. I wasn't satisfied with working in that style. I felt like I could express myself a little bit more in the style before. And also just like the level of detail. Like they really stepped up the quality of the splashes there. And for me, I'm the kind of guy that just believes in simplicity. All right, so for me it was a little much. And I just wasn't, I found myself not enjoying working on the splashes as much there towards the end. So I started figuring out what I was going to do next, planning my next move. Alright, so let's get this thing looking right. It's time to get right. Let's draw this costume in. Yeah, looks good. Not too big of a fan of how these how that looks, but yeah, whatever. It's all good. All right, let's draw in the leaf here. Let's draw the underboob going on there. It's always nice. That's always a nice touch. Good old-fashioned Soraka underboob. Oh no, it's side boob. Soraka had side boob. Who has underboob? Syndra? Syndra, the goddess of underboob? I think she is. Let me check it out. Where are you, Syndra? Oh, yep, there you are. Oh, no. No. Not as underbooby as I remember you being. Not as underbooby as I remember you being. Oh, well. I think the original design was much more underbooby. Alright, let's get back to Zira. Zira. Oh! Get that crap out of here. Alright. Alright guys, we're going to be going on break here in just a few minutes, so get your snacks ready. Right? Get ready to watch some Hulu, whatever people do these days. Cue up your favorite Netflix movie, because we're going to be breaking for 5 minutes, and then we're going to go back into this. So my back is killing me. It kills! This is looking good so far. Really enjoying this. The lining process is working out quite nicely. It would appear. Alright. Alright guys, it's break time. Break time, not going to talk anymore. I'm going to turn the stream off for a few minutes and we'll be back in 5. So I'll see you then.